All right, I think we're live. I think. Oh, let's see. Yeah, should be fine. Yes. Hello, world. We're live. That's kind of cool. Hang on. All right, so we're good. Thank you, Alex. I was wondering if picture is okay, sound is okay. All right. Well, let's see. All right, let me just tell you in a nutshell how am I going to cover this. So I'm trying to put a structure to this so you benefit from the time I'm kind of live. I was about to say alive, but yeah. And if you have any question, then we can park it and then answer it afterwards. So here's what I'm gonna cover first. How to start getting clients to shoot cars. How to shoot car videos, and that's going to be a bit extended because we're going through cameras, settings, equipment, what you need and stuff like that. I'm going to show you some of the examples that I shot maybe 4 years ago or so. And then I'm gonna answer some of the questions that you may have. And then we're going to touch just a little bit on interior photography. Well, I'm not an expert in that, but I can guide you through what to watch on YouTube. How about that? Oh boy, did your laptop just crash again? I think it's time for you to upgrade. That kept on happening. All right, so TTL or manual for automotive, it's always manual. The thing is with TTL, the flash power, the settings might change, and you'd want to stay consistent across the shoot so you know it doesn't really look different, especially if you're doing multiple exposures kind of shots. Now imagine if you had one that is a bit overexposed and one that is underexposed, then you have to sort of match them at post. But when you have it on, let's say manual, then you're in control of the light. And that gives you more of kind of flexibility to change the lights the way you think it fits. All right, we're going to start in a bit. So let's see what Alex have set. Nice work, Alex. We're going to decide that in a bit. Just gonna keep this on the side. High pass. I think high key would look really good, in my opinion. But we can discuss that in a bit. All right. So one of the things that I'm going to answer right now is how to start, getting clients to shoot car and how I started doing so. So when you're first starting, you need to build a portfolio, right? And it's really hard going to a company or to even individuals asking them, well, can I shoot your car, without having something to show them as a reference of how you shot previously. So the way that I think you should approach it is, one, start with your friends, start with your family, start with your first and second circle. And that will help you slowly, build your portfolio. Having something in your portfolio before heading out to clients. Hello. The other thing that I would recommend you also to do is attend those car events and car shows. It's a platform in which you get to know people. It's a platform in which you get to meet people with awesome cars, and that you can start, showing your work and maybe schedule some of the shots. And you slowly build a portfolio. You have a website, or you can host them on Behance, something that people can watch and see before you approach them. So that's, in a nutshell, how I think you should approach clients. Because one is, you need to have a portfolio. Otherwise, it would be very hard for them to say, okay, go ahead, here's my Ferrari, show me what you got. So yeah. Now, this is the way I started, by the way. So I started with my friends. I started with my family. My friends had friends. My family had friends. So it's kind of the first and your second circle moving onwards. Compositions, do's and don'ts. All right, let's park that. Let's park that. Do's and don'ts. We've started already. This is the live session right now. Welcome to MoeDays. Yeah. I think this is the best time to that fits everyone, especially people in the US. I think it's early in the morning, and UK is about afternoon, noon. So yeah. All right, so back to what I'm gonna cover next is how to start, how to shoot cars, or actually, no, not how to shoot videos of cars. All right, before we go ahead, there is a question here. What do you prefer, flash photography or light painting? If you've noticed, I haven't done a lot of light painting. That's maybe something that I need to do more often. That's kind of out of my comfort zone because I haven't tried it a lot. So I always prefer the flash part. And I've seen people combine both flash, strobe, and a lighting technique. So yes, for now, I prefer really flash, but I think I can get a lot by as well trying the light painting technique. So Alex is flash for life. So I think if we combine those, both of them, that will give us an edge. All right, so how to shoot car videos. Here's the trick, and I'll start with the basics because shooting car videos involves everything from the camera to getting manual controls, get a tripod, fluid head and slider, and so on forth. Hello. All right. So number one is to shoot car videos, you'll need a camera. And now when I say a camera, you need a camera with a manual control. You see, you need to somehow control the exposure of the camera, not letting the camera do all the work. Otherwise, you'll have a bright scene and then suddenly it becomes dark. All depends. You're at the mercy of the lighting and the surroundings that you have, and the camera itself. So even something like the G7X, which is a point and shoot, this is the G7X Mark II, allows some manual control. And when I say manual control, the frame rate, the shutter speed, is it the shutter speed? Yes. The frame rate, the shutter speed, the ISO, and the aperture. Let me show you the triangle exposure. Where is it? I lost my mouse again. I keep on losing my mouse. All right. So what you see here on the left is the video exposure triangle. On the left, you've got the ISO, and you've got the shutter speed on the right, and then you've got the aperture. And of course, you have the frame rate, and that determines everything. So if you, the natural frame rate for video is 24 frames per second, 24, 25, depending on what you're shooting on, whether it's in TSC or PAL. And then for the shutter speed, you need double that amount. So if you're shooting 24, a shutter speed of 50 or 48, well, 50 will work out. And well, something that you can't see over here, I think it's for photography, but yeah, so frame rate of 24, you will require shutter speed of 50. And the ISO, of course, you know what the ISO is, controls the sensitivity and also adds some noise the more you pump it up. Then you've got the aperture. So you need to control these in order to have a really good video. Now 24 frames is what is the natural, let's say, or what they usually use in order to have a very natural picture. Now, if you want to do slow motion, that's when you pump the frame rate higher. So you go about 60, and then some cameras do 120 frames per second for super slow motion. That requires even more. You need to pump up the shutter speed with it. A rainbow in a car headlight. We'll come back to this. All right. So one is you need a good camera. A camera that you can control all these settings in. So you, like I said, you can start with the G7X Mark II. You don't have to go very expensive when you start. You've got the Sony RX100, which is a bit more expensive than this because it shoots slow motion. Then you have the Canon M100 and the Canon M5, M6, Canon ATD, and so on and forth. And then you have the Sony's, which is the Sony A6000, and then you have the A6300, and then the A6500. They are all good cameras. And then if you want to go to a full frame cameras, then you have the A7, A7R, A7S, and so on and forth. Something that you control the shutter speed with. All right, so next on the list, so basically you've got a good camera, and now you need a good tripod. And I've been using this tripod for a long time. Hang on. I don't know if you see it. I'll add it. There you go. Yeah. So this is the Manfrotto 055 XPR 0B. I'll leave it there in the comment. I've been using this for the past, God knows, ever since I started the videography and photography, and never broke down. So these are sturdy. Get a good one, good structure that won't break in the long term. Now for the video head, you need something that is more fluid. Let me show you that. This is a video head. This is mainly used for video, and I'll tell you why this is important for video. The way it works, it's very smooth and has cartridges to get you that smooth, fluid drag. Let me demonstrate this on the other tripod that I have. Okay, so this is the same head that you saw, but on a tripod. Look how smooth you can pan left and right. So you can really get nice footage with this. Yeah, and then you can also tilt down and up with fluid motion, and it's really fluid. It gives you really nice look. So you can start with that. You have a camera and put that camera on top, get some nice panning shots, tilting shots, close up and pan, close up, pan and tilt. All these sort of work together to give you that really, really nice image. So this is important. Now for photography, on the other hand, you've got this, which is the bull head mount or whatever they call it. And that gives you flexibility. With the video head, you can't adjust the camera to the side, which really gives you more flexibility in terms of pictures, not video. With video, you wouldn't go that way. With video, you're always on the horizontal line. You won't really invert your camera, but with photo, you would. So this is the difference between the two. That is more towards video, gives you more fluid panning and tilt. And this is more for photo. It gives you flexibility in a way you can position the camera. All right, so moving onwards. So we spoke about the fluid head for video. And I'll show you why you would need a slider. Let me pull this one out for you. This might be a bit. There's this idea that in portraiture, oh my God. The photographer's job to set the subject at ease. I don't. This ad has been following me everywhere. All right. This is a video that I shot 4 years ago. Let me check. Yeah, 4 years ago, exactly. And you can see I'm using the slider shots, although I think I'm overdoing it. That was 4 years ago. Now that I think of it, yes, I am overdoing it. And that's why you need a slider. This is how a slider looks like. This was sent to me by the guys at Trust. This is a part of a bigger slider. This is like a 2-axis slider, which I've been using. All right, so you put the camera on top, you mount the camera on top, or you mount the head on top. Let me show you how that works quickly. All right, and then you can slide the camera. You can put the slider on top of a tripod or a stand, and then you slide left and right. And of course you can pan with it, left and right, and tilt. So you really need a slider to get these shots. Let me get that from here. There is a channel called, I think, Crispy Media by Chris. Another ad. Sorry about the ads, guys. So I'll leave a link. Let me just copy this. These kind of shots that you can get from using a slider. I know I should have, but anyway. He's using the Rhino slider. I'll give you another link for the Trust Motion. And I'm not sure if links still work on this channel or not. For some reason it doesn't. So you can copy and paste it. All right, how do I color grade? I'll get back to this in a bit. So, yep, that's it about video shooting videos. Really, this is what you need: a good camera, good tripod, good camera. Like I said, something that you can control frame rate, shutter speed, ISO, all these manual controls. A good tripod, a good fluid head, and a slider, and then you're set. You really need to go out and try it out, get better with it. I need an ad blocker. I'll do that. Yep, from the Chrome store. Yeah. Gimbals, yes, there are a lot of gimbals as well. I thought of maybe bringing that to the table. What I think is, instead of going out to the max, is try and use what you have. So get a tripod first, and a fluid head. You don't need to get the slider until you get comfortable with just panning and tilting. Then you can get a slider for even nicer movement shots, sliding shots. And then of course you can get like really cheap gimbals. I used to use this one. This is the GlideCam HD 2000. I had it on the, used it with the C100, and now I'm using it with my A7S, the one I cleaned the sensor with, or cleaned its sensor yesterday. I don't know if you've witnessed that. It was madness, but it really survived that madness. So this is the GlideCam. This is a manual gimbal, not motorized. Very hard to use. You need to practice a lot in order to use it properly. And then I have the MoeDay M5, which is really expensive. And like Razvan said, gimbals are really getting cheap right now. All right, so how do I color grade my video or my photos? So I have a video on how do I color grade my photos in Photoshop. You can check it out in the channel. How do I color grade my videos? It really depends on you. I mean, I do use Final Cut Pro, and now with the new update version, you have an option, which you can actually have color wheels, curves. All the missing features that we wanted previously is now available in Photoshop, in Final Cut Pro. And if you want to use LUTs, you can. I'm not sure if it natively allows you to use LUTs, but there are a lot of plugins that allow you to basically use LUTs. So that's the way I color grade my videos. Very subtle. I don't like to go over with it. And I know from the video that you saw, it was really too much, but that was 4 years ago. So yeah. The idea is just to keep it very minimal and simple, that it is not noticeable. What I've noticed people right now with LUTs is they use it to the extent that it really just makes people orange or yellow, and that is what I don't like when it comes to skin tones. Yep. What is my one car that I would love to shoot? Tricky Alex. I think I mentioned that last time. I think it was the Mercedes, was it the SLS AMG? That car that opens its door that way. I can't remember the name. I keep on forgetting the name, but yeah. I'd love to shoot a Ferrari as well. Did I look like a bird there? Lamborghini. Yeah. Hey John, yes, the SLS. You're right. You're right, Alex. It is indeed the SLS. Johnny or John, if you don't mind, just dropping me a line on Instagram so I can directly check it out. I think I get that question a lot about location, and I think the easiest when you're starting out is using a natural light and not getting into a situation in which it requires you know, either you strobe the car or light painting because you're just starting out. I think you need to get it right in natural light, let's say an open area that has not a lot of distraction in the background, or if you have a background with a pattern like a wall similar to this, at least something that will won't require you to light up the car, especially when you're starting out. It's very hard to master flash at the beginning if you don't know the basics of car photography. So yes, something wide and open, maybe a highway, or in my case it's the desert, maybe something with a long distance of mountains in the background, or having, like I said, something that has a pattern similar to this shot. Let me pull up, I think I have a good example for that. Looking for a hard drive. Lots of hard drives. I'm still trying to wake up. A live critique would be a rad idea. Maybe, yeah. I'm not ready for it though. I like to take it easy when I watch other photos. Just, you know, take my time. Let me open up Lightroom and show you that. Who's my favorite car photographer? Alex. I think I have a video on the top 9, I think, car photographers, like Jordan Cherokee, you've got J.F. Williams. I can't remember them right now. You got what was it? Richard Pardon. Yes. Jeremy Cliff. Jeremy Cliff is amazing. This guy, poof. Jeremy Cliff is definitely one of them. And of course, Alex. I'm not kidding here. All right, let me just pull that shoot with. I hope I find it here. Oh no, it's not. Did I lose the photos again? I think I did. It's not cool. Oh no, I did not. It's on another hard drive other than this one. This is hard. Keeping track of all these hard drives that I have is a hard task. I need to start tagging them. I'll show you different locations and how why I chose them. I think this is a better way of doing this, right? Have you ever had a hard car to shoot? Of course I did. I can tell you that this shot, the one you're looking at, was a bit challenging to get, the one in the background. I just recently shot a video tutorial about lighting, and this example was one of them. So I compared it to the shoot that I did with the Porsche Boxster, and I did exactly the same thing that I did with the Boxster. However, I did not get the same results, so I had to change the light. I think every car is unique and every car is different, so you need to find the right way of shooting the car. Also, what matters a lot is the color of the car. In this example, if the car was black, you wouldn't be getting the same results, because black does not reflect light, it just sucks it in. You got a DSLR and the autofocus. That's odd. What kind of DSLR have you got? Is it a Canon, Nikon? Or are you using like native lenses? Marcel Lee. Well, I'm not sure how to spell that, but yep, let me copy it. Let me check it out right now. Well, let me just walk you through Photoshop. Sorry, Lightroom. So okay, I got the project up. It's blurry. Yeah, it's out of focus. You've been talking about location and how I picked location. A security recommendation. Do you guys hear me all right? Video, audio, everything is cool? Oh yes, Frederick's closer is amazing. Okay. I don't know why YouTube says that I might have a very low output. Everything seems to be cool. All right. Yes, Frederick's closer is really good. I think he was one of the first that I started following. I lost track of that man. All right, Alex, you take care of yourself, buddy. How can you reduce noise picture at night? We'll talk about this. There are a lot of techniques about reducing noise. Well, at night, if you're doing a long exposure photography, it should be fine, right? Because it's long exposure, you're not pumping up the ISO high. But there are a lot of techniques, and if you look at some of the tutorials on YouTube with the reduced noise or blurring the image slightly, you'll get sharper, cleaner images. I don't recommend shooting at f/22, otherwise everything really becomes in focus and everything becomes sharp, and then you lose the nice blurriness of the let's say the background or the image. It really depends on what you're looking for. If I have a subject in front and I want to isolate everything at the back, then I wouldn't shoot at f/22. On budget, lighting tips on budget. Coming from the guy who owns a Profoto B1. Now, yeah, I will come to that. But yes, there's an equivalent strobe to the Profoto B1, which is the Godox AD600, and now you have the Godox AD600B and the AD600 Pro, which are coming up, and they are way cheaper than what Profoto is. The other good thing about these strobes and flashes is the modifiers doesn't break the bank as well. The modifiers are cheaper. You can get mounts bound. I forgot the name of it. Bounce mount. Yep. Yes, Alex is using Godox. It's crazy. It's cheaper than Profoto B1 and its accessories. Is it a good investment to purchase virtual rig, realistic motion blur? If you're doing a lot of motion blur and you're actually getting money out of it, like you're getting paid of it, then yes. If you're not doing a lot, then it doesn't make sense investing into that. And I know I did the investment just to see how it works, and I wanted to learn more about comping and virtual rig. The only way to do it is to purchase that. But yes, hi Angela. So back to the budget lighting setup. There are a lot of, if you're talking about light painting, I use the ice light. I purchased it a long time ago, version 2. The good thing about these, the quality. So you don't have to worry about the quality, the color of the light itself. I think it's called CRI or CR something. But if you're doing it just for fun, then you wouldn't want to buy these heavy or very expensive equipment. You can get ones like light sticks really cheap. If it's just for the learning purposes, if it was just for fun, that would be nice. Now if you're working with clients and they're paying you, then that's when you start changing a bit of the equipment, given that of course it will change the quality of your work. So don't go directly to the extreme. Start with something small in terms of budget and then move forward. All right, this is the kicks, and this is what I wanted to this is some I've worked on this, can't remember when, I think about a few months ago. This is, we came across a restaurant. I did not still work on this shot, so we saw this restaurant. Was early AM, the sun was about to rise, and I thought, this is a really nice location. So the sun was about here, and we used the sepia, as you can see, to mitigate the reflections, and it just looked really nice. There is a bit of color and a pattern. Maybe I could just like Photoshop this and extend it and then remove this ugly building in the background, or just replace it with something else. I didn't know about the location until I arrived. So we took a spin around this area. This area is called Adliya, and it's all restaurants. It was really early morning, so we had some time to scout and look for locations. And yeah, we selected a few, like this one over here. I think you're familiar with. I don't know, it just like comes now directly to me when I see a location. So I think, yes, this is the right spot to take a photo. You have sort of nice lights, you have a nice building, you've got the sun flare coming from the back. And that's when it comes to location. Let me flip through, and then we inverted the car on the other end. And I've done something very tricky here, because we were supposed to shoot the driver's side all the time, and because fuel tank is on the other end. I had to draw it here. Can you see I've drawn this in Photoshop to make it look like it's on the driver's side, and then I flip the image. Yeah, very sneaky. Let me see if we shot another one. This is another one that we saw. We thought it was really looking good. Now what I didn't like about this is the ground. There's just too much going on here, and this lamp was like growing out of the car. But a way to mitigate this is I changed the ground in post. Used one of the Shutterstock images and just traced around the car with the pen tool, and then pasted that. Adjusted the perspective and took the lamp out, but not entirely. We can still see it here, but it just like kind of blended in within the drawings and added a flare, a bit of dodging and burning, and off you go. And this one I did not use yet. We wanted to do a virtual Rake one, but the sun was already out and there were like cars and objects, and didn't reach that. And this one is another good, nice settings. However, I think the sun was coming from the left, so I had to change the way I was shooting the car, and I shot it from the other end, and that's the result. It's all about getting the right exposure to it. And I think this is just straight out of the camera. I did not do any post-processing. This is after the post-processing. You can see I just extended the wall here, gave it a bit of life, I would say. Yeah, I mean, for virtual Rake, $50. I use the light as well. It doesn't really matter if it's for learning purposes. I think $50 is really a good amount of money to spend. Oh yes, thanks. Thank you so much. This is another one that I didn't yet edit. Let's see. Yeah, and I like the backdrop. I don't like the road, so I need to change the road, retouch it, or just completely change it, and then take off the reflection, change them with something else. And that's something that we can do in Photoshop. This is another angle. And this one I really like. This is like a parking lot for another restaurant. This is the before and this is the after. You know, after doing some cleanup, you can still see a bit of stuff on the road, but it's better than what it was. This is another one right there. This is before, this is the after, just cleaning up. Reflections are gone with CPL filters. You still hate Photoshop? Trust me, I hated it for a long time until I got along with it. But yeah, thank you, Snyder. I think it's about time until you get used to the interface, and then you know, getting just comfortable with Photoshop and Lightroom. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I think it just comes in by practice. The more you practice, and to be honest, if the locations weren't as good, I wouldn't get really good images. And I got lucky with locations here because I was scouting at the same time. So we left home at 5 a.m. and we started shooting at 6. So at 5 we went scouting and said, okay, this location, that location, this location, that location, before the sun comes out. and this is another one, another good location, and I can, you know, this is unretouched. This is still not processed. It's something that I'm going to work on soon. And another location, yes, this one. These are the traditional homes. These the restaurants that looks like traditional Bahraini homes. I think I only did one over here. Now, I tried some other concept. This didn't work. I just didn't like it. Shot this and I didn't like it. Shot this, I didn't like it. So there are a lot of the shots that I took I ended up not using because I just didn't like the way they looked. And as you can see, the sun was out here by 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and it was just too hard to shoot anything at that sunlight. You're welcome, Rex. So I'm trying to find all the questions that you guys have asked. Thank you, Ricky. What are some tips to get commercial look for the edits? I think the commercial looks for the edits, like these ones, I think it's commercial enough. I think someone asked, how long does it take for me to finish one edit? And this took me a lot of time. This is, God knows, I don't know, 5 hours, 6 hours. This is the original shot. And in order, you can see nothing is lit, and I had to remove the these over here. Then I had to remove the objects, and the guy that was looking at us here, I had to remove him. So it just really take a lot of time to retouch things and make it perfect. I didn't perfect the one over here. You can see I had the AC, and then I had some elements going on, and then I had to just like replace it and clone it and trying to matching, and you can see it did not match 100%, but it got lost within that flare, and I had to let these up manually. And I think I changed something here. What was it? Yes, it was this that I had to remove, darken the ground, blend in the exposures, adding contrast. I think contrast, sharpness, proper contrast, proper sharpness, clean roads, I think is what makes an edit really good, and especially if you got like good light like the one over here. Of course, this has been emphasized because this is how it looks, and then that's the blown away one, and similar to this one. Oh yes, I did a lot. I mean, let me. I hope I did not. Let me show in Finder. Let me try and see if there is a version that we can look up. Nope. All right, let me open that up in Photoshop. I might have just like merged all the layers because I ended up with a lot of layers. Let me open the file. That's the best way. This one was shot with the A7R2, so it's still loading in my window here. There you go. So the file size is quite big, especially if you have multiple layers. What are my recommendations for shooting in a dealership room? I use 2 strobe lights and get glare everywhere. I mean, you get glare, you get reflection. The thing is with dealerships is, for detail shot, that's fine. If you're thinking you have the light reflecting off every single surface, they got a lot of light, so as long as these lights are on, then you would have a hard time controlling reflections. If I were you, I would do, and if you can arrange the setup in a way, you know, to remove objects, the desks or cars or surrounding, and have like a space for that shot, then that's fine. But when you have all these lights, all people walking in, and then you've got the cars, the desks, the employees, then it gets really hard to shoot in dealerships. All right, we've got the file open, and I think, yes, it's been merged. Let me look. So this is at the beginning. So I have a channel mixer. The channel mixer is just used to tone down the image a bit. So you can see I added a mask on the car, removed the car, masked out the car, and then masked out the flare. But it's really just to tone down the colors of the surrounding of the car, just to make sure I give it that, you know, make it pop out. And then I used curves to, there you go, to basically darken the image. Sorry, the ground. What is this one for? There's an extra layer, and I can see it's just control something here. It's funny. But anyway, and then there's a dodge and burn layer. See it? How do I view it? Okay, well, it's very simple, very subtle. And looking at this, I've used the pen tool to trace around the car. Was it overlay? Yep. And then I merged these, and looking at this, I added a contrast and saturation, and I used the Pro contrast. What is the Pro contrast? Now I can't remember which software I used, but mainly I used to use the Color Effects Pro by Google, and then I added the sun flare. And I don't see a copy of these. I think I copied it from the other shot. So let me open up the original shot. I think that has more information, because I just copied the details. Although I tried strobing the car, but I did not use any strobe. Is it this one? Yeah. Get it in, show in Finder. Let me see if there is. No, I think I've merged it again. But let's open it up in Photoshop and see. Let's wait for it. All right, what did I miss? So yeah, I use color balance, I use channel mixer, I use a lot of tools. Depending on what I'm trying to do, I would use that relevant tool. So do I have any advices for people who would like to buy rather cheap LED lights, softboxes, etc. for daytime shoot? I don't know for daytime if it would be very possible to get an LED that is very powerful and which can overpower the sun. I don't think LEDs would do so unless if you were in the shade, if you were like in a very dark area, then yes. I've been talking about Godox Photo. I think that's Flashpoint. These give you cheaper alternative, like the AD200, like the AD600, and the 360, which I have over here. Mind you, let me go and fidget. I have everything laying around, so I'm back. So this is the AD 360, and I think Alex is answering you guys as well. Thank you, Alex. Right. So yeah, so this is the AD 360, and it has its own battery over here. I attached it to the light stand. It gives you like enough power to shoot. I don't know if you see it. So you can start with these. These are cheaper alternatives to Profoto and other flashes. I need to make sure that I leave these objects in a way that I can get out of this room. All right, so we have this open. Looks like I've merged it too. No, look at the lights. Yeah, no, this has it all, I think. So step by step, there is a hue and saturation. I'm not sure where I applied them. Looks like I applied them here. I don't know why. Can't recall right now. But you can look at the AC unit. That's something I've removed on top. And then I removed the objects around. This is the before, this is the after. And then a dodge and burn layer. As you can see, I dodged and burned here, here, and around these areas. And there is an empty layer that I don't know if it's really empty. And then I turned on the lamps. So if I go about on and off, and this is all done by just Photoshop and overlay. So I think it's like 2 bulbs. Yeah. There is a the ambient light for the lamps, and there is the bulb itself. And then there is a contrast, the Color Effects Pro. I'm not sure what this layer is about, but yeah. I sometimes just create layers out of nothing. Oh, this is, okay, this is the, look at that. So remember when I told you I had to draw this one? Here it is. I had to draw it. I think it was with the pen tool, because I'm supposed to shoot the driver's side. And then I added a channel mixer to tone down the image, at least the surrounding. I don't think I should have done that, but anyway. I darkened the ground, then again the flare, color lookup, and that's it. Depends on the, oh well, Alex is really answering the questions. So yes, built-in batteries. Thank you, Alex, for stepping in. No, this is the dealership's car. Yeah, I needed that kick. Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really like the image. I think I spent a lot of time. The more you spend time on an image, the better it gets, of course. I think I've strobed it here at the front. I can see it's pickled. So let me go back to Lightroom. Let me close down Photoshop. Let me look at other photos that might be out of your interest. So, library. So you'll see, you'll hear the kids in the background shouting. I think that is the one with the virtual rig. Yep. Listen to the fan. I drive an Audi RS3. Yeah, photo walk with Mo. Supercar. At least that's what I think. It's really a really good car, the RS3. Now this is something that I need to show you guys. You guys remember this, right? This is this technically. See? Here it is. This was shot here next to our house, and then I come to then Photoshop. It's crazy, but yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun, and I do have a video explaining a walkthrough on how I did it, so check it out on my channel. Toy car photography or something. And the other shots, let me try and find them out for you. Now remember when I said you need to try all kind of photography, because I even tried these, or this one down here. I think this is the final, yeah, this is the final one. This was light painted, by the way. I light painted it with the ice light. I've done the post-processing in Photoshop and Lightroom. Hey Jared. Cover the patch tool with the blending after cloning. Let me see if there is a way. Now I do cover it in one of the videos. I can't remember which video. Hang on. Let me find that video for you. Patch tool. Yep. Because I hate my voice in this video. Actually, I don't want the sound to come out. Alright, so this video right here. Let me get to a place in which I think I've used the clone tool. So you see this hotspot down here. In this video, I show you how to remove it, I think with the clone, and then I use the patch tool as well. So there you go. That is the patch tool. There you go. Now let's just put the...
I would just use the patch tool to remove them instead of just, using the stamp. pull on snap tool. It's easier to do that like so.
Hey Raul, how you doing?
Spot, for example,
So have a look at this edit.
drag or
So I show you how I remove that hotspot and reflection, and then just use the patch
now
tool
we're going to fix the edge with the snap tool.
and the stamp tool. I also have a course on Udemy on automotive retouching, and now that I'm looking at it, I don't think it's the coolest image ever, but I have a lot of techniques on how to remove reflections. Let me pull that one off. There you go. Lightroom, automotive, post-processing in Photoshop. Removing objects, so you can how to use the pen tool. These are like external sources, but removing reflections and then removing nasty reflections is something that I cover in this video.
Now that we're done.
So you see, I'm going to get rid of reflections in this, you know, the tree and the lamp. Let me just fast forward, and I might just use the patch tool. You can see I got rid of it. Surprise. It's an automotive car retouching in Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop on Udemy. So check it out. And I use the patch tool again here. Yeah.
It's a bit cloudy.
And it's free, by the way, so don't worry about getting charged. Removing nasty reflections, which is like the next level of reflections.
Okay. So
And it was a challenging. So this one over here, the tone was totally different, and I had to use different techniques. Can't even remember how I did it. So yes, I used the patch tool as well. So you can see I can, yeah, that's the patch tool again in action, just to smoothen and blend the two sides. And then I think I just used a bit of coloring and yeah. So have a look at it. It's really interesting. It has a really good, interesting materials. Although maybe the end image it wasn't really that good, in my opinion. Can patch tool match car paints as well for glares? If I think Alex actually has. Alex, you do have a video on this. Why don't you tell them? Alex, let me show you. Alex has really a good video about this. Let me find it for you. Okay, here it is. So if you're not following Alex, that's Alex. Alex, you need a channel name. So 85mm automotive photographer. You can look at him up. Subscribe to him. Otherwise, I'll be really sad if you did not. He covers this tutorial. Sorry. So he covers about how to get these reflections off with 3 different techniques. So go ahead, watch the video. Let me see if I can copy and paste that for you over here, and have a look at it. Yes, he is shooting something. Lucky get. Wish I had that to shoot. The camera, I can't even believe I'm like in the Middle East and don't have an access to cool cars, and this kid gets like to shoot Ferraris and P1s. Hello NYC, good morning. Anytime, Danny, anytime. If you have any question, do let me know. Oh, the S3. And let me just go back and see if you have any questions. Hey, Moo made it. Were you able to? Yes. It's a bit, yes, expensive over there. I think it's less expensive here because we don't get taxed on cars yet, but this is coming soon. Yeah. All right, NYC. Let's see what NYC. You just got an AD200 and you're wondering if it has enough power to light cars in daylight. I think it does. It would if it's just to complement that light, right? I think it does. And depends on the time of the day. So if you're talking about midday, maybe it's just very hard. What I would recommend you doing is get this reflector. This I got with AD 360. I hope you don't break. It's very hard to do everything with one hand. Ew. Okay. I hear the kids crying in the background. So this reflector over here, this is what you need to get. It will help like focus the light, get you more power from that AD200. I think I created a mess. So yeah. How to use the patch tool exactly? It's easy. You just select the patch tool, select the area around it, and then just move that area to a cleaner spot, which has similar tones. If you look at the videos, I think Alex also used the patch tool here. If you look at the referenced video that I showed you, you would understand more about the patch tool. Hello, California, waking up. America's waking up. Been partying very hard yesterday. Let me get some coffee, I guess. Yes, you need to drag. So you need to select and then drag to a cleaner area, basically. Yes, yes, yes. So you have the Alfa Romeo video and you have Alex's video, and you do have this, the one on Udemy here, which has really good information. I created this course, I can't remember when. So I go over all the Lightroom basics, removing objects, like how to remove actual people. I think I removed a lot of things in that course. So there you go. I removed this.
This layer.
Let me just forward this. You can see that I used the clone stamp tool to remove this, and how I actually did it, and how I fixed things. And then again, the patch tool here, and I used the patch tool here to patch the sky, and then how I use the pen tool to remove the guys that was photobombing the picture that I took, and how I just fixed it. So have a look at this course. It's free. It's called Automotive and Car Retouching in Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop. Adding contrast, dodging and burning, desaturating with channel mixers. I do have all the techniques that I'm currently using in there. Oh, okay, unpublished. Chinese are going to sleep. Wow, what's the time there? Okay. Now let me pull some of the shots. What's the time now? So remember when I said that we need to... It's 6. So I do have another 20 minutes or so. If you guys have any question, if this is the 06. If you have any questions, if you need anything that you think I should cover, I've already recorded a tutorial that is going out tomorrow, Sunday. I need to finish editing that, and basically in that tutorial I'm going to go over how I actually shot that, not edited that shot, just how I lit it up. And then I'm going to show you, of course, in another tutorial how I actually done it in Photoshop. Trying to find the GT3s. Oh no, not that one. Carbon coffee, yes. So I think I can cover this for now. This is one of the cars and coffee. You're welcome. So this is the before and after. Is it? Yeah. I think someone mentioned in Jimmy Zhang's lighting tips is how to create the highlights on the right. And right, this is not a really good example because it's too sharp. Well, let me open up in Photoshop. Hopefully I did not like merge everything. Where's my drink? Hi Jared, just if you could send me a private message on or inbox message on Instagram so I can check it out. It'll be easier that way. Did I miss anything here? There's a lot of mess. All my equipment is currently here. Oh, I forgot that. Well, I wanted to show you another fluid head, which is good for video. I use it for photo as well, which is the 701 HDV. The good about these is they have cartridges inside, and you can see how smooth the movement is. So, yeah. It's a bit late, but better late than never. It's taking too long. Hey Tom. Thank you, buddy. How have you been? Oh, that's up. Good. So this is the flare. Do you recommend any paid tutorial? It really depends on you. I do recommend any kind of tutorial that you can get your hands on. I've watched Eastlin Chang's one and it's really good. I'm really liking it. I think it's worth the money because he goes I think on more than just one shot. So he covers a lot, and like the one in the desert or the one sea salt, I think, or desert, I can't remember. Then how he color grade, post process these shots, not only just shooting but also post processing. You have the one with the Mustang, and he uses the flash and the strobe, and he shows you how it's done with a strip box, I think. And then he goes about light painting and how he uses his modeling lamp to light paint. And then you have the motorbike one. So yes, I think this is the best paid course that you can get. Oh, enduring the Canadian winter. Must be too cold in Canada though. Iceland. Hello. How's Iceland? I want to visit Iceland. I'm not sure when, but I will visit it one day. Always had it in my mind. You might have some luck with the patch tool in areas. Yeah. Oh, minus 14. That's... You know, it gets 16 here, and I say it's too cold. So yesterday it was 17, and I was like, this is too cold for me. I can't live in this country. I know, minus 14 is crazy. I would just like die. All right, let me show you how I did this layer thing. Let me try and find it first. There you go. So what I did basically is I traced the car with the pen tool over here. Just going to do it just quickly, just for demonstration purposes. Don't judge me for this. Anyway, something like that. And then with a soft brush, I kind of paint it over. Brush. I need to enable layer. This layer, for example, and use the bracket. I'm not sure if it's soft enough. Ooh, it's not soft at all. There's black. I just got used to I got used to the pen, and this is not working out the way I like it. So this is how I created the highlight, just a quick one. So this is the actual one. Yep. It's the highlight. Of course, you can perfect it. That's how I use the highlights. So yes, I think every class is kind of different. So try and find the classes that you really think you would benefit from. Like I said, the Easton Chang was really good. And I think Lauren here says that Pepper's second class had more information than the first class. So you might as well opt in for that. Hi from hello Belgium. Yeah, I think you need to wait until the entire stream is on. 2 a.m. in Sydney, Australia. I'm sorry to do that. 2 a.m. Is it like 2 a.m. on? Is it 2 a.m. Sunday? You're in the future right now. Oh yes, of course. At least from my experience, I think Easton Chang's videos are, like I said, helpful. because it's not only one shot that he goes over. Different techniques, different lighting techniques. One with the natural sunlight, one with indoors, one with the strobe and a strip box, one with the modeling lamp, and one with the light stick, whatever you want to call it. So, ooh, look at that. So I think it's worth opting in for that because it's different. It has different techniques along the way. Also the post-processing part. You can also opt into peppers. You can also opt into whatever you think is viable. What I'm trying to do here is finding you alternative which is free, and you can go over the videos that I have. And if you have any question, then you can get back to me and let me know how I can support you or help you with. Like I said, I've recorded a video on how to shoot this, which is going to be published tomorrow, on how I shot it, like the lighting technique, but not the edit itself, because I'll go over two photos, the Porsche and that one. Sorry, I'm going just to speak in Arabic just quickly for our fellow Ansari. محمد حبيبي, if you إذا تقدر تدز لي مسج على الانستغرام عشان أقدر أكلمك عربي, okay? All right, so back. Oh, you're in the future. How is the future? Is it bright? Anything exciting happening there? Yeah, I agree with Lauren. Now the thing is, with the way I'm doing my tutorials, they are not as in-depth or intensive like online courses that Easton or Pepper does. So they go into details and they're a bit lengthy because of the type of the content. So I think it's worth to invest. There is no issue investing in knowledge, in my opinion. So whether it's 50, 100, 150, I know where you're coming from, but I think you will benefit either ways. Like Lauren says, be selective. My experience with Easton Chang course, I think it's worth every penny. And I think I opted in for one for peppers. Let me remember which one it was. It wasn't done with peppers. It was Astro something. And he goes into details about lighting. So sorry. Okay. I think ours Tyler. Anthony Ross Tyler. Yes. The one with the Anthony Ross Tyler, this guy over here. His course was really good. It has a lot of good information, good knowledge, things that I think the basics, you need to get the basics, and he explains a lot about the basics, theory stuff that you need to keep in mind before and after going into a shoot. I think that's the one that Lauren was talking about. I think, well, Yes, I'm trying to maybe get you some tips about photography for free. That's because, you know, I have another source of income. I work on a full-time, while these photographers like Anthony, Pepper, and Easton, they do this for a living, and I think they should charge for what they do. Hi, Rico. No, you're not too late. You're gonna have an uploaded version of this somewhere, so it's okay. Again, practice makes perfect. I don't think a lot of people appreciate the CGI look, by the way, but keep on practicing. Watch the premium classes by Pepper or Easton, and keep on trying things. If you keep on watching, that's good, but if you don't try it out, then you know you're not getting your hands on, and without that you won't benefit. So watch, apply, and learn. Yeah. It's dark and you're sleepy. I think you should head to bed. I don't know when you supposed to wake up tomorrow morning, so. Yeah. All right. Let me see. You guys have around 3 minutes before I leave the doom. I can extend that if you want to, though. Hamed, I think, let me pull this. This is a very good example of what you're talking about. DTRS, yes. So look at this. Where is it? Yeah. So you have this shot, or the TTRS, and then you have another one with this, then another one with that. That's cool. So these are the night shots that were shot on the A7R2. Now if you go to this one over here, it was shot with the Canon 1DX Mark II daylight. So different time, different light source. And then you have this, and you have that, which I've posted this today, I think. Yeah. It's totally different than this. So different light sources, different camera, different profiles, they all lead to different colors. I think what matters, if you get the balance right in camera, these are the actual colors in relation to the strobe or the flash that you're using. There's also one trick, I think, in Lightroom. Where is it? Oh, develop. It's selecting the profile here with, of course, you need to get the row shot. So let me get one of the row. Okay. This one over here. So this is with the Adobe standard. Okay, let's not get that one. Had a lot of reflection. Then you have the faithful, which changes the color a bit. The natural changes the color into more natural look, and then you have the standard, gets you more contrast, changes the color as well, and then the Adobe standard, which is the standard. So different light source. If you're shooting in shade, if you're shooting in the direct sunlight, if you're shooting with a strobe on, let me get you the other shot. Where is it? And this one as well. This one looks quite same but different. Well, I mean, if you're on set, if you have control over the light itself, let's say you're using a strobe, then that shouldn't be a problem. Now, if you're shooting during the day and then it's at sunset, you'll definitely notice a shift in the color, because the color of the sky, the color of the sun changes, and that's just normal. Now you can try and match it and balance it and correct it in Photoshop or Lightroom, at least before even heading into Photoshop, by using these sliders. But really, it really depends on how consistent you really want to get, because sometimes you wouldn't want to have a daylight sort of look on a sunset. It will look very odd. Now with the flash and the strobe, for me, because I was controlling the light, they're somewhat consistent in the look and the color, because I have a control over the light. But when it's the sun, it's very hard to control. And these detail shots over here, kind of consistent across. So when you have a control over the light, yes, you can remain consistent. But when you don't have a control over it, you have maybe a window of time that you need to shoot. And like I said, if you're trying to have a daylight effect on a sundown, or what was it called? Different, you know, when the sun is going down, it looks different. It wouldn't look the same. It will look awkward as well, in my opinion. Do I have a behind the scene video of the work that I've done? No, but I'm planning on one soon. A friend of mine approached me and said, listen, why don't we do this? You know, I'll hold the camera, I can hook you up with a wireless mic, something that will be different in terms of tutorials. So yeah, watch out for this space soon. Like I said, I will be going over these, actually this shot tomorrow. So I have a tutorial that I've recorded, and I just need to finalize and edit it for you guys. It's going to be how I shot that. Yes, the difference between Camera Raw and Lightroom, they're almost the same, really. Some people just prefer the Lightroom, some people prefer Camera Raw. For me, however, it's a way for me to organize my library. So it's easier for me to just import everything into folders, you know, project by a year, by a month, and I'm stuck in 2017 for some reason. But yes, this is the way I organize my file. I'm not really a big fan of organizing things. I mean, I try every now and then, but I think it does a really good job by cataloging your shoots, and then, you know, you can always come back to the folder, and then when you especially put them on an external hard drive, it's just a matter of click and you can find it all under one folder. And you can right click and edit them directly in Photoshop, load the TIFF file. Yes, so they do exactly the same thing. However, I just like it for in terms of organization, really. Moving car shots. There are different ways of doing so. So there's the Rake shot. I use the Rake shot, an actual rig that I work on, and I have a video on that on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, MoeDay, and then videos, let me pull that one here. That's me. So yes, so this is the rolling shots. This is the camera rig with a camera rig. So you can watch this to understand what a camera rig is, and then you can watch this to see how I edited that photo. There is another one with a speed edit, I think towards the end, this one over here. Again, that's a rig shot. However, there's another one right there, here, this one. I used virtual rig to create that. So it's two different shots. The car is static, it's not moving, and then I took two different shots, blurred that in virtual rig, and imported it into Photoshop and continued, you know, the edits, you know, creating shadows, motion, stuff like that. Yes, you can still utilize, I think, the blur tool in Photoshop to create similar motions. However, I think virtual rig provides better quality in terms of blurring. I don't know if it really requires a video when it comes to Lightroom. So the way, for example, I come over 2017, right click, and then I create a folder and say, you know, this is the new project that I'm going to create. Well, we're in 2018 already. So a new project, and that creates a folder. Within that, then right click, and then you can import the data or the images into that. And then the way I archive them really is, you can see that's my dumpster. I have a hard drive that is called a dumpster. So in which I just drag and drop the files, that moves everything to the external hard drive. Yes, it's a dumpster, unfortunately. So it's pretty straightforward. All right, go back to the TTRS. So the video that is going out tomorrow, yeah, I think you should go to bed right now. You got some work to do tomorrow, so go ahead. Thank you for watching. Yeah, so the video that I'm going to release tomorrow splits into two. One is how I lit the Porsche Boxster. Let me see if I have it here. Crazy if I do. Yeah, I do. So the video is going to walk through like not the editing part, but how I lit. So I explain how I use the Profoto B1 with the zoom reflector, and how I actually managed to get that shot. And then at the same time, I'm going to show you how I lit up this one. Keep on losing it. Where is it? And the moral of the story of that video would show you that the things that I tried with a Porsche did not exactly fit this car. And the reason why is just the structure and the shape of the cars are different. So you need to, you know, manage that with either changing the modifier or, you know, using a light stand, for example, to extend the light upwards or downwards instead of having it at the same level. Camera and lens combo for your shoot. So my favorite one is that's very hard to answer that question. No, I think I've explained that I really like the 1DX, but I had to sell it because it was just too big, and the file sizes of the videos were just like crazy. But my perfect combo maybe in 2018 would be, so far, is the Sony a7R III and the 24-105 lens, which I don't have the 24-105 lens G, I think. It's very expensive and it costs, I don't know, it's like $2,000, like the cost of another camera. But yeah, that's something that I wish I can put my hands on, but I can't afford it right now. By the way, my favorite shots are always the natural shots. Now I understand that the night shots are very, very dramatic, because you shape up the light the way you like to light up the car. But it just takes a lot of time, lots of efforts, and I just prefer the natural look of the car. Similar to the Alfa Romeo, for example. Let me see, where is it? Yeah. So this is the Alfa Romeo. I did not use a single flash on this, yet the final look is amazing, at least what I think. I did not use a flash on this at all as well. It's all natural light. And this one over here as well. This is naturally lit, no external lighting. This one too. This one 3. This one's the edited one. I think this one has been cropped. I don't like cropping. Where's the reset? Yeah. I think there is one that I used to complement, which is this one. So I used a flash to complement the light, and I have a tutorial on how I did that. Look it up on my channel. Where's the final one? Where is the final shot? I think this is the final shot. Yeah. There you go. Thanks. Ricky, I think there's a course on Live Class Commune by this guy, Anthony Ross, that explains how he shoots. He plans his shots, so he stays there for a long time, so it's daylight, and, you know, when the sun goes down and comes up, then he shoots another one, then shoots another one, and then he combines it all into one, and then he uses the strobe, and then he uses this as well to light paint. So I think it's worth watching. Okay, thank you so much for the one. What kind of stand do you attach to the car? This is called a rig, not a stand. The one I use is from YouTube. YouTube, from eBay. Okay, I need more to set this. I got that rig from eBay. However, if you want to get a rig, there is the car camera rig. I think Justin, his name is Justin. They provide really good rigs. I know they're maybe expensive, but they're really, really high in terms of quality. They're carbon fiber. You can get cheaper rigs around the internet if it's just a matter of you testing. But if you have real clients, like very expensive cars, you wouldn't want to have cheap rigs that might break and fall down on the car. Oh, you're still here. I thought you went to bed. Which ISO settings do I set on your shoots at the maximum? It's really on the exposure. I look at the exposure and see if I need to bump up. Like this one here, I think is 320. That's just the way I felt it fit. So what matters to me is that I get a sharp image, and if I set that to f9 and I know that f9 would cover the car and the objects within the image, I then have to control the shutter speed and the ISO instead of the aperture, because I want everything in focus. Now for the TTRS shot. For the TTRS shot, I had it on 50 because I have a strobe, and that actually would kill the battery life. I had a really strong strobe, but I could have just done it with a, I don't know, 100 or 200. Now with strobing, when it comes to strobing, there's this general rule with flash. The shutter speed controls the ambient light. However, the aperture controls the flashlight. It affects the flashlight more than anything else for the aperture. So always remember that. Shutter speed controls the ambient light and overall exposure, and the aperture controls the flashlight. For the ISO, however, it controls both. So it affects both the flash and the ambient light. So you need to be careful when using that. Is that car real? Yes, it is. It's an Alfa Romeo 8C. It's a hell of a car. I never worked on this shot, but I think the other ones, yes, I did. See, I used this flash to complement, and this is the way I prefer using flash to complement these shots. This is a close-up shot, and I went crazy with this one. This one's with overlays and stuff. And yeah, all naturally lit, so the sun was somewhere around there. The color of the car just plays a big role. This color is freaking amazing. And the car is so photogenic that, no matter what angle you point and shoot, the car comes in really good and nice. I wish I had it for me. Yes, the ice light. So the idea is to wear a black shoes and black dress, something that does not reflect light. But I think the idea is to take multiple exposure. So I know that some of the photographers, like Jeremy Cliff and the others, they would use a strobe and a flash, or sorry, a light stick like this one. So they would light paint the car. However, they would maybe use a large softbox or strip box, like a 1x4 strip box, to just create that nice even shadow on the ground in which you have to complement into Photoshop. And I think this is a better way of doing it, because with these you get really nasty halo around the car, and I just don't like it as much. I just really like nice and smooth, gradual floors. But also, if you do have, I don't know if I have it, yes, it's over there, it's too far away for me to get. You can extend this because it has a thread at the bottom, and you can extend that with a boom, so you can select, actually you can get away with your feet so it doesn't show in the process. Yeah, welcome, Rico. You're a beginner. Trust me, once you start watching my channel, you can watch Flern, you can watch all these awesome guys that provide value on YouTube. In no time, you'll become really good. So, in no time, you'll become Jimmy Zhang. Jimmy Zhang is really amazing. Love that guy. Oh, trust me, sometimes I just experiment with things. Where is that? I like naturally lit cars more than strobes, but why is this like hidden? Yes, stay there. Oh, this one is with the light painting, but I think I accidentally deleted the photo. I don't have the final one. I deleted a lot of photos. So as you can see, you can't see my feet, you can't see my legs, you can't see anything. And that's because I had that boom and I was just like walking away from the light. So with the TTRS, I experimented a lot with light before getting that shot right. So this one was like a failed attempt, it's just too dark. I'll look at all of these photos. I tried it like multiple times, and then, you know, when I looked at the images, I was like, okay, now you know where the problem is. The flash is too low and we need to bring it high up. And this is an overexposed image of me trying to light up the car. Now, I wouldn't want to ruin this because I'm going to cover this tomorrow in that new tutorial. So make sure you watch that video. Boxster, present copy. This one with the dodge. Let me show you how I did the dodge. And this was perhaps when I first wanted to try in a closed area, and you can see it's. You can see me here. There you go. That's me. I said 5 minutes, and I'm over that by half an hour. Okay, so that's me with the Profoto B1 trying to figure out, you know, how things works with car photography and stuff like that. Hooah! So yeah, so look how that just changed the color of the car, just angling it from the top. And I kind of merged that all into Photoshop. Now I couldn't get the exposures right here because I had these in between. And that's just basically next to our garage. Well, it's our garage next to our house, in our house. And I took multiple shots here and there, just trying to figure out light. One's for the wheels, the front wheel, different angle. You see, with these type of shots, always take a lot of photos. Take as much as you can because you never know when you need it. And then this is the background. I remember having one within the car itself. Oh, look at that, sweet. But this is like too hot. This is very hot. Let me check. Yes, this is the one inside the car, and then at the end I ended up with this, with color grading, putting everything together. This is the final shot. I tried the remask, I just couldn't get it to work. So, because I'm lazy and sloppy, I thought, you know, remask would help me out. But I ended up just using the pen tool. Hey, Paul. Yeah, so no, I'm not using a plugin to cut out my cars. I just use the pen tool. I think it's the perfect element. It's just like, it takes time, but it gives you like perfect cuts. Even than the remask. yeah, I can give you feedback if you send me an inbox message. Then I'll have a look at your Instagram. So moving onwards, let me show you the edit. I hope I have the edit. And while it's loading, I'll get you that extender to have a look at. So it's just too far away. Still around, by the way, just at the other end. All right, so lots of equipment here and there. All right, this is what I use to extend the ice light. And you can extend anything with that. So this is what I use for booming. So I just stick that here. And I think I used it with the AD200 as well. Because the AD200 is just a really light flash. It doesn't break. Yeah. So this way, you can extend it further. And that way you can get away with your feet off the way. So you don't have that ghosting look. Yeah, I mean, I got the plugin. I actually purchased the remask. It just didn't work for me. Just like... All right, this is the final shot. Let me see if... So this is the base layer. And you see I've used the mask with the lighten. So I put the these in lighten and then masked out anything that I didn't really want to appear in the picture. Like here, me, myself, and reflections here and there. So yes, let me just walk you through the ones. This is the back. The one under the car looks like a space shot. Like the UFOs are coming. All right, and then this is the one. Look how a strobe would change even the shape, because you're shaping up the light and you're shaping objects. Just by strobing that, it looks different. Do they pay me for this work? I think I only got recently really started getting payments. This was my friend's car, and I asked them to come over to my house because I wanted to try something new. So no, that wasn't really a paid job. That was... And then this is the inner. If I put that opacity to 100, you can see, but it will look fake, so I turned up the opacity. And then that's where I cleaned up a bit in front and on the side. But anyway, it wasn't really a nice place. And this is like, see how the light changes the shape. It's just amazing. I think it's out of place as well. I think it moved, but really it's only show towards the end. And then curves to dodge and burn. So I have these dodged and burned. And I have a lot of videos on how to dodge and burn. I have one video on Udemy, and then I have another one on my YouTube channel. Then a channel mixer to tone it down. I think more on dodging and burning with this layer. And I added an additional exposure later on because I thought it's just too dark. But maybe I was better off without it. Maybe. And then contrast, sharpness, sharpening, and then I color graded that in Lightroom. So if you go to Lightroom over here and we go to the develop and scroll down to split toning. So these are the details. If I turn this on and off, what angle do I strobe the wheels at? I think for this shot it was really random. But we usually would want to complement the light on the car. So this one was a bit more random. So you wouldn't want to have something out of place. Because if the light was on the car looking like it came down from this side and then strobe it from that side from a different angle, then it will look really odd. I would recommend when strobing wheels, I would use a softer method, maybe a soft box or strip box, because it will give you a better look. But yeah, for this one, I just showed you how I strobed it. It's kind of odd way of strobing things, and that was when I first started. So I might have done it differently, but I just wanted to let out the entire wheel. So I might take that shot and take another one from this side. This side is too saturated. It's because of the strobe. I think I just overly strobed it. It was a very hot zone. Golden lens flare. I can look it up. Where do I explain flares? I'm not quite sure. I think I've used it in multiple videos. The one with the McLaren, for example, is one of them. And maybe color grading in Photoshop as well. So try these two. The blue McLaren one and the color grading in Photoshop. I think that is the one. It does make a lot of differences. Now if it was on its own, which is the base layer, then it would look like this. Kind of imagine having you know, all these adjustments like clarity, contrast, stuff like that here. That would look very bad. It's just a way that you can shape, you know, shape what you are photographing. You can shape it the way you want. Really listen to that noise in the background. Should you buy a 50mm lens or a tripod? I don't know. Really depends. What kind of lens do you currently have? I think a tripod is essential for certain shots. Especially when you do multiple exposure, if you are using a flash or strobe that you are going to take multiple shots, then you need a really good tripod. Now for the 15mm lens, I don't know, that's really your kind of decision on why do you need a 50 mel lens. But yeah, I think a tripod is essential. Always carry that. Get one that is sturdy. So I use this ever since I started. The 055 XP Manfrotto. Let me type that. What is the number? 055 XP R0B. Look it up. I'm not sure if they still make it, but find something like that, something similar to this. This is sturdy, won't break. I've had that since I started, and it never just let me down, never. Yeah, the path blur is cheaper, definitely. Like I said, I think virtual rig just gets you better blurs. Zoom lenses are good, and I prefer zoom lenses on prime lenses. However, I think prime lenses are just sharper and better. But with zoom lenses, you have the flexibility. So if I want to zoom at 50, then I'll be able to do so. This is actually a wide lens. But where's the A7S? So this is the 24 to 70. I wish I had the 24 to 105. If I want to zoom to 50, I'll keep it here, and then that's it. I'm at 50, 70, 70. But they say that prime lenses are sharper. And it depends really on what you're working with. If it's just for you, experimentation, stuff like that, and just get a zoom lens. And I think for the type of work, I always use a zoom lens. Anytime. It does, but the prime lenses are more expensive, aren't they? Well, not more. If you compare it to the range that you have, not as expensive, yes, maybe. Depends if you get like the 2.8 or the 1.4, 1.8, 1.6. I don't know, I just prefer the zoom lens because, you know, I'm not sure usually where I'm going to shoot and how am I going to shoot, like the location of it. And with having a zoom lens, yeah, I have the A7S. So this is the A7S and this is the A7R2. I'm holding it upside down. I'll show that in the live video. A7S, A7R2. Because I used to shoot a lot of videos. Yeah, there are some manual prime lenses that you can get really good, very cheap. Zoom lenses give you just more flexibility. By the way, this is not an ad. I just like my energy drink. Yeah, the Samyang, you got the Samyang, the Sigma Art lenses for Sony are, I'm hearing some good reviews about it. The thing is with Sony lenses, they are very expensive. Like I said, the 24 to 105 f4 is just crazy. Nah, is it 1,300? I think it's just... Anyway. This is the... It's in stock. It's in stock. It's very tempting. Okay, so this is the Dream Lens 24-105. I don't think I can order it. Ships to USA only. Too bad for me. So yeah. That's how it looks. I use the Metabones. I used to use Metabones, and I sold all my Canon glass right now, and I'm feeling lonely a bit without them. Yeah, it is cheaper. It's cheaper. I'm thinking of getting again the 24-105, the second version. I think that is quieter. What do you mean by blending different shots? Is it like different exposures? You can always use a mask to blend in different exposures. You can use the darken, the lighten. It really depends on the shots. Yeah, I use the Metabones, but there's also a Photodiox one. Let me try and, yeah. So this one is the Metabones adapter. Yes, it's expensive. I had issues with that. And this is the Photodiox. I need to clean it up. This is the Photodiox one. Photodiox Pro ND throttle, and it has a built-in ND filter. I don't know if you see it. It's there. So that's the cool thing, is the built-in ND filter is so freaking awesome. And that is the one that I shot what was it, the Camera with. So yep, so this is the one I shot this one with. That's a nice thing, is I didn't even have to put it a ND filter, because the ND filter is built into this. And I think I lost the cap. Let me just hide it here. A budget strobe, the AD200, the AD360, which I've just showed the guys. These are budget strobes. And then the AD600, if you want to go a bit higher. You're welcome. So I don't know if you heard that. The AD360 is stuck right now in between my stuff here. Oops. All right, so this is the AD360. So this is a, I wouldn't consider it a budget, but yeah, I mean, it's cheaper than the Profoto B1. The AD200, the AD600, if you want to go like above the range, if you want to invest in really good flash. You're welcome. All right, I think we've gone over the time. Thank you again for tuning in. If you have any further questions that you want me to answer, you can reach me out on Instagram, email, or my website, or maybe on my next live stream. I'll try and make it more structure, have better structure, I would say, than this one. And yeah, sir, I'm just about to leave. You just showed up. So yeah, well, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for tomorrow's tutorial, which is about how I lit up the TTRS and the Porsche Boxster. If you have any questions, you can leave it in this comment section below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next MoeDay live. Alright guys, you're welcome. I think it's really great. Let me find a way to stop this. I always say that. So I use OBS. There you go. Stop streaming. Anytime guys. Prepare any questions that you may have for the next live stream, and I think we can go over it. And thanks for all of you who contributed. And Alex, I think Alex is right now busy shooting the Ferrari. Well, see ya.